Morning. It is December the 23rd. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week in the mornings, chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Apologize for being a couple of minutes late. I had to make my coffee, and things were running a little late, and I don't know how to say this without sounding rude, so I'm just going to come out with it. I prioritized, and coffee won. So, hope you're okay with that. Anyway, rise and shine, my friends. What a day we are about to have. It is, at least in my house, beautiful outside. But holy crow, these temperatures are going to be dropping faster than my cryptocurrency account. Period. That's it. That's the joke. Maybe it wasn't that funny. It wasn't that funny. Here's a live look outside. This is in Marion County. This is Ocala. We are starting off with gray skies over top of you there. Let's look elsewhere and see what's doing. Downtown, yeah, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, but we're about to see quite a change in store. Take a look at temperatures across the horn, okay? We're at 64 degrees in Ocala. We're sitting at about 64 degrees in Sanford, 61 in the Villages, and 64 in Ocala, or excuse me, Leesburg. So looking very nice across Central Florida this morning. The key word, though, is this morning, because listen. It's been a long time since we've seen temperatures that look like this. Here's a look at the temperature map across the Sunshine State and a little bit beyond. It's 24 degrees right now in Mobile, Alabama. It's 36 in Panama City. Say 61 in Sanford. Why am I saying in Sanford? 61 in Jacksonville. So there's a cold front there, and that cold front is about to blast into our area. Okay? As that cold front is moving through, the real cold surge of air is just a little bit away. So let's take a minute here and process our 12-hour forecast, because this is not your normal deal. Clouds this morning, even a couple of showers. 70 or so. Okay, so when we're showing on the bottom of the screen there, forecast high 68, forecast high whatever. That's essentially the high temperature for the day, okay? That does not mean that it's going to be there this afternoon. That means that that's going to be like our afternoon temperature. It does not mean that we're going to be sitting there for a while, right? So temperatures are going to be dropping through the day. 1 o'clock, 65, 3 o'clock, 61, 5 p.m., 57. We're going to be stepping down and down and down. It is going to be a steady decline all day long. So we're essentially right now working up to our high temperatures, which will happen in the next couple of hours. And then things are going to drop. How fast? Faster than my cryptocurrency bank account. But we're together. We've got coffee. We're going to be okay. Let's talk about this first off. Without hyping, all right? You know I'm not a hyper. Let's just level with each other here. Without hyping, we have not seen a freeze in Orlando since January of 2018. All right? That's just where we're at. We haven't had that. So these next couple of days, we're not only expecting to have a freeze, we're expecting several freezes. We hit 27 degrees the last time Orlando got down to freezing, back on January 18th, 2018. So let's just do the rough math here. 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, and we're almost to January of 2023. So we're going to say 4.89 years, almost 5 years. We have not had a freeze in Orlando in almost 5 years. Tonight we freeze. Tomorrow night we freeze. Let me show you what I did at my house yesterday. Stand by. I got to find the picture. It's cute-ish. All right, so this was me at my house last night. I was covering up my Christmas palms. I also put, by the way, I'm not an incandescent bulb guy, but I went out and bought, on a heavy discount, by the way, incandescent bulbs. So I wrapped my palms in incandescent bulbs and wrapped everything up top. I don't know if I did a good job or not, but I want to protect that investment. It's going to be getting cold, friends. So just keep that in mind. So what about your neighborhood, right? Let's just get to that, okay? Let's just do that. Here's our temperatures tomorrow morning. All right? 31 in Orlando, 29 in Sanford, 28 in Leesburg, 24 degrees. These are not even the wind chills. These are actualmente. These are actual temperatures. 24 in the Villages, 24 in Ocala, 27 in DeLand. Now, a couple of things. Through the night, all night tonight, I'm going to be tweeting temperatures. I'm going to be getting up, shooting out a temperature tweet, and then going back to bed. I'm going to be doing that all weekend because I want to make sure that if you're up, and it'll be around the top of the hour. I may struggle to get up, but I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to tweet the temperatures. I'm going to go back to bed. But these temperatures are going to be significant enough that I want to make sure that even all night long that I've got you covered, okay? So let's think about this. The P's. People. Make sure your neighbors, your family, your everybody in your little bubble, make sure everybody is okay. And I say that, and I always have to like backpedal for a second because it's like temperatures in the 20s and 30s. Haha, you Floridians are so cute. Yeah, but really, we are not built for this. Some people don't have heat, so we need to make sure that we take care of everybody. That's number one. All right. Number two. Pets. If we're cold, they're cold. So we need to make sure everybody's okay. You know, if you've got outdoor cats, maybe bring them in the garage. If 24 in Ocala, that's dangerous. Big equestrian world up there. So we need to make sure that the horses are taken care of, right? If you're using a space heater, as someone who has served on the board of directors for the American Red Cross, space heaters cause fires. Space heaters can kill if used incorrectly. Keep them away from drapes. Keep them away from children. New space heaters can turn off if they're knocked over, but you don't want to guarantee that. So we need to be operating the heat very carefully, okay? People, pets, plants. Do what I did. If you need to cover up sensitive vegetation, I'm doing it. So like the question, it's like during hurricane season, everyone's like, well, do I need to evacuate? If you're asking, it's probably because you're worried, so just do it for peace of mind. That's the way I'm doing it, right? Cover sensitive plants, that sort of thing. And last, pipes. You do not want your pipes to burst. I'm going to leave them on a little bit of a trickle, all right? Just to be on the safe side. I remember there was one Christmas as a kid, I was in Virginia with an aunt, and the pipes burst. I was a little guy, but it's left a lasting impression on me. Yeah. I have to cover some plants today. Indeed, Janice. Indeed. Catherine says it's the one time we want the weathercasters to be wrong. Yeah. So this is the blizzard you were referring to. Got it. Look, for Floridians, this kind of an air temperature situation is like a blizzard for us because it is so out of character. All right? So that's a look at Saturday morning. Let's look at Saturday afternoon. I want to make sure to take you step by step, and then we're going to get into freeze durations and things, okay? Here's Saturday afternoon. This is Christmas Eve afternoon. These are high temperatures. 48 in Orlando, 43 in Leesburg, 43 in the Villages, 46 in Daytona Beach, and 50 degrees in Melbourne. A lot of people, it's not that long ago. I mean, it is, but it's not. A lot of people remember 2009 into 2010. And this is very reminiscent of that 2009, 2010. It was like a week where we were in the 40s and 50s for highs. and morning lows were around freezing. It was an abnormally long cold surge. Now, this is not going to be as long, but it's got that memory triggered where it's like, it's just disgusting cold for a while. I mean, high temperature of 49 degrees. That's not going to be the coldest Christmas Eve on record, but it is going to be top 5 coldest Christmas Eves on record. Like, let that sink in. Really. We don't have this kind of cold this often. So that's Saturday afternoon. Let's go to Sunday morning, Christmas Day. Let's look at Sunday morning's low temperatures. Does that say 22 degrees in Ocala? It does. 27 for a low temperature on Christmas morning in Leesburg. Still right around 30, 31 degrees in the metro area. 28 in Sanford, 29 Daytona Beach, 33 in Titusville, 34 degrees in Melbourne. That's Christmas morning. Let's go to Christmas afternoon. 50 in Orlando. High of 48 in DeLand. High of 48 in Palm Coast. High of 46 in Ocala. Then, you think it's done, let's look at Monday morning. It may be starting to mild out a little bit, but you're still at 35 in Orlando. You're still at 27 degrees in the Villages. You're still at 31 in DeLand, 26 in Ocala. And then by Monday afternoon, we start back to the 50s and 60s for highs. And we just kind of continue going and going and going from there. So we do have light at the end of the tunnel, sure. But for what it's worth, friends, and I'm just being very honest with you. For what it's worth, I mean, this is going to be a very impactful situation. All right. When we look at the advisories, and I think that this is really telling, wind chill advisories cover such a significant chunk of real estate. I really think that that's impressive to see. From the Canadian border all the way to the Keys, essentially, under wind chill watches, advisories, or warnings. And of course, that does include us. So why are we under a wind chill advisory? Well, let's discuss. What is a wind chill? When you have a cold temperature and a gust of wind, that causes the wind chill. So here's a look at our forecast wind chills. Okay, this is not computer model data. This is forecast wind chills. And let's just stop this at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's already going to feel like the 40s in Marion County and in Ocala. Okay, let's roll through time. All right, by 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight, the wind chills already feel cold. Let's go to tomorrow morning. Yeah. Let's take a moment to process that. We'll go into 6 o'clock hour. It looks like 6 o'clock is about the coldest. All right. These are the wind chills for tomorrow morning. It will feel like 22 in Orlando. It will feel like 25 in warm Melbourne. It will feel like 18 in Daytona Beach. It will feel like 13 in Ocala. So you add the wind on top of these bitterly cold temperatures, okay? And you've got yourself a truly dangerous situation. You just do. So here's the 7-day forecast, all right? And there's a reason that Saturday, Sunday, and Monday are highlighted in red. Those are what we call first warning weather days. They're illustrated as such because those are days where the weather's dangerous. It may not be a tornado that's the danger in this situation, but you've got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and the day after with dangerous wind chills, with a dangerous cold. This is going to be the coldest air we have seen, period, in almost 5 years. And when you factor in those wind chills, and I don't believe we keep, and I haven't taken your questions, I'll get to those right now. I don't know of where we keep like a wind chill record, but these are going to be some very dangerous wind chills. Okay. All right. To your questions, I apologize. I have been talking and talking. I just had so much to say, so much to say, so much to say, so much to say. A little baby. Janice says, too cold for Florida, indeed. Tammy, what about cars? Most cars are not winterized like up north. Well, listen, as long as you have your heat, you're good. You don't need snow tires. It's not going to be, thank God, it's not going to be like that. And notice there's no precipitation chance, so we're not discussing the threat of snow. Thank goodness. Yeah. All right, let's see here. But any chance for power outages? I keep seeing people talking about them. I mean, there's going to be a strain on the network, on the grid, sure. So that is going to be a concern for sure. Listen, I can't forecast I can't forecast whether or not they'll be able to serve. But that is a concern, yeah. Paul says Floridians can't handle frozen boogers. Right? Like what? What? I guess it makes sense. I don't know that I've ever experienced that, but yeah, it makes sense. Jody's asking, did you see the snow forecast for Sanford? Someone posted it last night. There's no moisture. We're not going to snow. These apps that we have today are hot garbage. All of these apps are talking about snow. No, we'll get frost, but we're not going to snow, people. It's just not going to be that way. Yeah. Also leaving my phone on the charger. I have an older phone that we'll use today that is Wi-Fi only in case the power goes out. I mean, it's just what it is, right? Why is Ocala so much colder than the rest of us? Stephen, that's a really good question. At the end of the day, they're a little more rural, they're a little more north, and all of those things kind of play in together. Yeah. What's really interesting, and I've taken this into account, and I hope I've not miscalculated, but what's really interesting is when we look at the kind of, when you think about, I'm trying to think, how's the best way to say this? When I was calculating what to do with my plants outside, I took into account the fact that I had plants very near my house, and concrete radiates out heat. So think about it. During the day, even if the temperatures are in the 40s, that house is warming. The heat from the house is warming the house. So at night, that concrete radiates out the heat. That's referred to as the urban heat island effect. And the best way to visualize that is to just look at tomorrow morning's temperatures. Let's take a look, okay? Where's the most concrete in Orlando? Right? Where's the most concrete? It's going to be in Orlando. Notice among the warmest temperatures, Orlando. Now, you look over in Brevard County, you've got the ocean influence, right? But like the reason that Orlando's 31 and Sanford's 29 is because there's a lot more concrete in Orlando. And yes, we take that into account when we make our forecast. There's a lot more concrete in Orlando to radiate out heat. My friends, the lesson today, the urban heat island effect. May sound silly, but that's the reality of it. Once again, the 7-day forecast acting up. I just don't understand why. It happens on that one dang graphic. When I was a kid in Iowa, I thought the weatherman was saying windshield temp and not wind chill. That's cute. Yeah. 3 days in a row, pipes will burst. Well, that's why we have to keep the drip, my friend. Seriously, that's why those days are highlighted in red. It's a TV meteorologist's job is different than maybe a government meteorologist. A government meteorologist's job is to get the word out, right? The government meteorologist's job is to warn people. A TV meteorologist's job is to get the message out in the most concise, clear manner possible. So we made those days red. We came up with this idea for a first warning weather day to try and get a message out. When those days show up red, it's our way of being like, hey, attention, right? Could be a hurricane, could be a tornado, could be, in this case, a bitterly cold air mass moving in. But it's something you really need to pay attention to. All right? That's where we're at. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page, people. All right? Frost is not snow, Karen says. Exactly. Carrie says, I'm watching from Chicago and I love how informative your forecasts are. Carrie, thank you. I mean, I throw in a little, maybe a little too much sass. I don't know. Hey, speaking of Chicago, boy, temperatures up by you are just disgustingly cold. Let's look at the national map. While we're since we referenced somebody up in Chicago, let me find that button. We've got that. Here it is. Look at the temperatures across, okay? Actual air temperature. Actual air temperature. -8 in Chicago. Actual air temperature. 1 above freezing. Excuse me. 1 above 0 in Memphis. Now, if you're traveling, obviously traveling is big business right now. There is a lot of issues. Big board over at Orlando International Airport. Most flights are on time, but there are currently working 34 delays, 35 cancellations. Yeah, and it's because of a big storm system, right? It's because of the same big storm system that is moving our direction. It is now getting into the northeastern United States. And as you can see, New York, New Jersey, the tri-state up there, just dealing with some problems. So on the flight delay map right now, all in all, everybody is reporting pretty okay. But yeah, there's de-icing operations that are in effect and all these other elements and things. So yeah. All right, freeze duration. Very, very important to start getting into some of this, okay? Let's start in Marion County. 6 to 11 hours for you of freezing temperatures. It's going to be a long period event for you, okay? 6 to 11 hours in Marion County. Sumter County, my friends, let's head down to the south just a little bit. For you, the Villages, Bushnell, Wildwood. Yeah, 5 to 9 hours of freezing temperatures from 1 a.m. to about 10 a.m. And of course, we're going to do it all over again tomorrow night into Christmas morning. 3 to 8 hours, depending on where you are. The higher number, obviously, Astor Paisley, Forest Hills. The lower number, Groveland, Claremont, back over to like Howie in the Hills, that sort of thing. But 3 to 8 hours, okay? Brevard County, I've got some dear friends who are concerned about vegetation. Depends on where you are. If you're on the barrier island, you may briefly touch freezing. But as soon as you get from around I-95, and especially west of I-95, you're looking at 3-4 hours of freezing conditions. Honest to goodness. Yeah. All right, Volusia County, friends. Let's head to you a little further north. Again, Barrier Island, you may touch freezing, but especially inland. Especially inland. 5 to 8 hours of freezing. DeLand, Deltona, right? Out near Astor, DeLand, DeLeon Springs, Enterprise, Cassadaga, DeBerry, right? Osteen, Samsula. These are all areas that are really going to have a hard freeze. Really going to have a hard freeze. Yeah. Flagler County, can't forget about you. Further up the shoreline here. You're further north, even beachside, 3 hours freezing. 10 hours freezing out near Crescent Lake, Bunnell, and inland areas, right? And then for the metro area, Osceola County, you're further south, but you are rural. You do not have a ton of concrete to radiate out. So I would say you're looking at least an hour or so of freezing. If you're right along the river, right on a lake or something, it may protect you just a little bit. Orange County and the Orlando Metro, 2 to 5 hours of freezing temperatures. And Seminole County, last but not least, the reason I covered my plants up, at least my sensitive ones, 2 to 4 hours of freezing. Yeah, freeze warnings in effect for Saturday morning, and it will be in effect again on Sunday morning. All right, so this is a big cold. This is a big cold. Just because it's beautiful and mild now, the temperature is going to hit 70 and start plummeting through the day today. Like this morning is going to be nice, and then it's going to start to really drop. Yeah. It's just where we're at. All right. Smith says it's cold weather. Former Canadian here. It's a risk of pipes freezing, and that's about it. No weather events or snow should not affect the power grid. Running AC all summer or running heat for a couple of days. Same power usage, same unit. No worries. Drink coffee, dress warm, no issues. Good point. As long as you've got the heat, right? As long as you're able to stay warm. Again, it's just a matter of we don't think about the cold very often, so I want to make sure to get that warning out. And yeah, I think the pipes freezing is a concern for sure, but people don't think that way because we don't have to. So yeah. Justin over on YouTube says, impressive the models called these exact temps almost 2 weeks ago. It's true. You know, we went from posting memes to, okay, this is a real deal. We need to make sure we're very, very together here. All right. So I need a bigger patio, Chris is asking. Why? What does that have to do with anything? Kelly points out, I miss Florida temperatures. I'm not built for these negative 25 wind chills. No. Who is? Yeah. Patty says, I have words for those wind chills, but you would have to block me. Let's just not do it then. Oh, man. Yeah, it's cold. Yeah. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate it. Oh, Rosebud over on YouTube. Thank you for the kindness. Thank you very much. Christine, totally love you too. Thank you. I cannot cover the leaves of my fox palm. It's too tall, even though it's a baby. Yeah, so different palms are a little hardier than others. I need to look because I covered my Christmas palms, but I did not yet cover my arecas, and I need to figure out if I need to or not. They're closer to the house, so to me, I'm like, well, the concrete is going to radiate out a little bit. Yeah, it's going to radiate out and keep us a little warm at least. You know? Terry, be good. Stay warm. Be good. Frank, is Tarpon Springs safe for plants or should I cover? I mean, it's going to be cold. You know, if you have sensitive plants, don't need to risk it. Without knowing like how close you live to the sponge docks or the bayou over there in Tarpon, I couldn't get into the real micro scale meteorological elements there. Yeah. Bring on the snow, Jeffrey says. Oh, feisty thing. Janelle, can you explain why it's not as cold by the ocean? Absolutely. So think about it. Air temperatures can fluctuate very quickly. Ocean temperatures take a while to shift up and down. So what we end up with, essentially, is a water temperature in the ocean, even if it's at 60 degrees. I mean, it's not, but even if it is, if the air temperature gets down to 20, that 60 is going to naturally heat up the areas around. I know it sounds very silly, but it happens. Yeah. And sometimes you get a little bit of evaporation to condensation. You get some ocean effect snow if you get the wind just right. So, yeah, that's that. All right. Enough. Listen, it's going to be cold. I'll be posting through the day and I'll be posting all night long, okay? I'll be updating things. It's going to be cold, people. All right, listen. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. Be ready for the chill. Holy cannoli, it is going to be cold. Bye, you guys.